Hello and welcome student at the course of Basic Clinical Chemistry Diagnosis. This lecture is presented by Dr. ZUHAIR, Assistant Professor at Clinical Chemistry. In this lecture, as we going on to carbohydrate, here I will talking about the regulation of carbohydrates metabolism. So the overview of this lecture is contain introduction, insulin, effect of insulin, glucagon, effect of glucagon, catecholamines, effect of epinephrine, corticosteroids, effect of cortisol, growth hormone, effect of growth hormone, thyroid hormone, and the effect of thyroid hormone. All these are the hormones and which related to the carbohydrate metabolism and effect of this hormone on the carbohydrate metabolism. So first I will start with glucose metabolism. Glucose is the primary source of energy for human. The nervous system include the brain totally depend on the glucose from the ESC, extracellular fluid. Here is the glucose, the main source of the body and is the primary source of the energy in the body. And the second source of energy is the protein, and the third source of energy is the fat. So is that put the carbohydrate in the first source of energy in the body, which also give the ATP and energy for body doing their mechanism or system as work as at all. So the nervous system and brain depend only on the carbohydrate and depend on the glucose that present in extracellular fluid. Here in the brain, we mean by extracellular fluid, here the CSF fluid. The nervous tissue cannot concentrate or store glucose, so it is critical to maintain a steady supply of glucose to the tissue. For this reason, the concentration of glucose must be maintained in narrow range. Nervous system cannot function normally when the glucose fall below the normal range. Fat of glucose ingest carbohydrates are polymers such as starch and glycogen. So its first breakdown in the mouth is the first step of carbohydrate digestion by adding the alpha amylase that secreted in saliva or present in saliva, which start the carbohydrate metabolism, which break down the starch and glycogen. Amylase enzyme responsible for digestion of this component to disaccharide and dextrin. This component further hydrolyzed by the monosaccharides by maltase. The enzyme sucrase and lactase are hydrolyzed sucrose to glucose and fructose and lactose to glucose and galactose. Carbohydrate is converted to glucose by various enzymes. Glucose is absorbed from the small intestine, then metabolism of carbohydrate in the body begins. Glucose is transported through the bloodstream to the liver, and this is also done by the portal vein. In the liver, glucose either used or stored depend on the need of the body at this time. There are three ways in which glucose is either utilized or stored in the body: glycolysis, glycogenolysis, conversion to the fat. So this is the main three steps which the glucose either go or utilize by glycolysis, that means breakdown of glucose to give ATP, or stored as glycogen by process known as glycogenesis, and also the excess glucose can be converted to fat in the body. Glycolysis, the breakdown of glucose to pyruvate or pyruvic acid or lactic acid or both for the production of energy in the form as ATP. It is used to control the level of glucose in the blood. Glycolysis occurs through aerobic or anaerobic pathway. The process of glycogen formation is called glycogenesis, while the term glycogenolysis describes the breakdown of glycogen. Glucose is converted to glycogen and stored in the liver and skeletal muscle when it is not needed for immediate use. Conversion to fat. Excess glucose, which is not immediately needed by the body, which cannot be stored as glycogen in the liver, it is oxidized to fatty acid and stored as fat in the tissue. Why the glucose is converted to fat? When the liver have normal capacity for storage glycogen, and when the liver is reached the full capacity for storage of glycogen, the other carbohydrate cannot convert it to glycogen because the stored area is full with glycogen. So in this situation, the liver converts the excess glucose to the fat and store it in adipose tissue. So here, which cannot stored as glycogen in the liver and can be converted to fat and stored in the other tissue. Glucose, when needed by the body, can be recovered from fat and protein. This process is known as gluconeogenesis. So the gluconeogenesis, that means the formation of glucose from the other sources like glycogen or fat or other proteins. Control of blood glucose. This under two major hormone. As previously mentioned, there is two types of hormone that control, or two mechanisms of hormone that control the blood glucose. One of these mechanisms is known as the hypoglycemic hormone action, and the other is known as the hyperglycemic hormone action. In the hypoglycemic is also include insulin, and the hyperglycemic hormone action is also include different type of hormone, which include the growth hormone, thyroid hormone, glucagon, epinephrine, adrenaline, and cortisol. All this hormone is acting against insulin, so it's also known as the hyperglycemic hormone. These and the number of two major hormones, insulin and glucagon, both produced by the pancreas. This is the main two hormone action. Their action opposite to each other. Other hormones include epinephrine, glucocorticoids, ACTH, growth hormone, thyroxine, and somatostatin. Insulin is the primary hormone responsible for the entry of glucose into the cell, produced and secreted by beta cell in the islet Langerhans in the pancreas. Normally released when glucose levels are high and not released when the glucose levels are decreased. So that means the insulin is stimulated by the hyperglycemia or increased blood glucose. It also stimulates the secretion of insulin. It is decreased blood glucose level by what is the action of this insulin and lowering the blood glucose, also transport glucose to the muscle and adipose tissue, increase glycogenesis, lipogenesis, and glycolysis, and inhibit glyconeogenesis. Insulin is the only hormone decrease blood glucose level, also called hypoglycemic hormone. Glucagon is the primary hormone responsible and produced and secreted by the alpha cell of the Langerhans or pancreas, released during stress and fasting states. Acts by glycogenesis in the liver and increase glucose concentration or increase glucogenesis. Can refer to as hyperglycemic hormone. So glucose homeostasis is depend on these two major hormone, insulin and glucagon, as here in this picture. Also the insulin lowering plasma glucose and do different steps in mechanism to reduce blood glucose. Glucagon the different mechanism action on the glucose and also rise the blood glucose level. Adrenaline gland hormone or adrenal gland hormone, which secrete epinephrine, produced by adrenal medulla, increase plasma glucose by inhibiting insulin secretions, increase glucogenolysis, promote lipolysis release during the time of stress. Adrenal gland or adrenal gland also produce glucocorticoids, primary cortisol released from the adrenal cortex, stimulated by ACTH hormone, adrenocorticotrophin hormone, increase plasma glucose level by decrease intestinal entry into the cell, increase glucogenolysis, increase lipolysis, liver glycogen and lipolysis. Anterior pituitary hormone that regulate the blood glucose, growth hormone. Released from the anterior pituitary, stimulate by decreased blood glucose level and inhibit by increased blood glucose. Increase plasma glucose level by decreasing entry the glucose into the cell and increase glycolysis. Anterior pituitary also secretes the ACTH hormone as released from the anterior pituitary, stimulated by decreased cortisol level, stimulate adrenal cortex to produce cortisol. Cortisol increase plasma glucose level by converting liver glycogen and promoting glucogenolysis. Inhibit action of insulin. Other hormones that affect the carbohydrate metabolism is the thyroxine. Thyroxine produced by thyroid gland under the stimulation of TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. Increase plasma glucose level by increasing glucogenolysis, glycogenolysis or gluconeogenesis, intestinal absorption of glucose. Somatostatin, one of the growth hormone, inhibitory hormone, produced by the gamma cell of the islet cell of the pancreas, increase plasma glucose level by inhibiting of insulin. Also, the hormone or that hormone are regulated the plasma glucose. Thank you for follow up, and I will see you again.